Can you hear me, all of you? Okay, so we are going to discuss fibula today. Okay, so fibula is medial bone or lateral bone? Are you able to hear me, Hema? Abhinav? Ritika? Can you hear me, beta? Imad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, is it medial bone or lateral bone? Fibula.
Which one, ma'am?
Fibula is medial bone or lateral bone?
Lateral bone.
It's the lateral bone. Okay. Now, see, fibula is the lateral bone, and when you just look at fibula, it is thin when you compare with the tibia. Okay. Now, the presenting parts, I'm just taking the help of this picture because it's good here. Okay. See here, it has upper end, shaft, and lower end. Okay. Now, most of the times we will be, actually I don't have fibula with me, otherwise at least I should have shown you something. Now we should depend upon this only better. Okay. So the upper end will be the head, which is usually little pointed. Okay. And the lower end, which is projecting downwards, it's called as lateral malleolus. Okay. Do you remember this is called as medial malleolus? Okay, which was coming from the tibia. Now see here, how to always we should know like what is the side determination. Okay, so how to do the side determination of fibula? Fibula will be little complicated to determine the side, because to determine upper and lower end only will be confusing. They look almost same. Then how to differentiate? First thing is, when you look at the upper end, it will be little pointed beta. Okay, when you look at the lower end, you should check for the downward projection on one side, that is usually on the lateral aspect. Okay, because this is the lateral malleolus. And on the medial aspect, you should check for the facet. Okay, that facet is for the tibia. Okay, that means here we have the tibial facet for the tibia to articulate to form inferior tibiofibular joint. Not only that, behind this articular facet, it's not visible here, just imagine, suppose this is the facet for the tibia and this is the fibula bone. Behind the facet you will have a fossa, which is called as malleolar fossa. Malleolar fossa. Behind this articular facet, there will be a depression which is called as malleolar fossa. That is always posterior to this articular facet. Okay. So this is the feature which will help us to identify the side of the bone, whether it belongs to right side or left side. Okay, first thing is you have to determine the upper end and lower end. How to differentiate? Both look almost same. Upper end looks pointed, lower end also looks pointed only. Then how to differentiate? So lower end will be ruled out by looking at the articular facet. If you check the articular facet there, which is quite big, triangular, then you have to identify it as lower end. Moreover, behind this triangular articular facet, we will see malleolar fossa. Behind, piche. Okay. So that's how you identify the side of this bone. Many points will be given, but I told you very much practical points which will help us to identify the side of bone better. Okay. That is. Now, see here. See, this is the triangular articular facet what I was talking about. Okay, the lower end. And this is the malleolar fossa. This is the malleolar fossa, which is behind. Okay, posterior, venaka, piche. Okay, so you have to check for this triangular articular facet and the malleolar fossa. When you hold it in correct anatomical position, the triangular facet should come front and malleolar fossa should come behind, with the help of which you will identify the side of bone as right or left. Okay, then. So fibula is lateral and smaller bone of the leg, very thin, and it is homologous with ulna. Why we are calling it as homologous with ulna? Because I told you during embryological development there will be rotation of limbs. Okay. Head is slightly expanded in all directions. I told you upper end, lower end is very difficult to little differentiate. Lower end you can identify only with the help of this articular facet. Otherwise, head is also pointed like this. Lower end is also pointed like this. So head is slightly expanded. That is out of experience when you observe so many fibulas. Oh, this is upper end, this is lower end. If you just try to compare, see and see repeatedly at least 2 to 3 times. If you exercise yourself, then you will get used to, yeah, this is upper end, this is lower end. But at one look, at first glance, always you will get confused, like which is upper end and lower end. Okay, so head is slightly expanded in all directions, and lower end this is the lateral malleolus, which is expanded antero-posteriorly. So this is the anterior end and this is the posterior end. Okay, why is it expanded? Because it is projecting downwards. Okay, I told you the medial side of the lower end is bearing a triangular articular facet anteriorly, and this fossa 1 2 is written here, right? That is the malleolar fossa, which is posterior. Okay, this will help us to determine the side. Is that clear, Ritika? Abhinav, hey.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, beta. Okay, nice, very good. Okay, now see here, I will just take you to the upper end. See, when you look at this upper end, beta, how does it look? See, it looks like pointed only. Lower end also looks pointed, upper end also looks pointed, roughly speaking. So this upper end which is pointed, the sharp projection, what it shows is styloid process. Okay, styloid process. Then now see, we already know like fibula is lateral bone. So on the medial aspect of the fibula, that means on the medial surface of the fibula, you will see there will be an articular facet for the tibia, isn't it, for the formation of superior tibiofibular joint. Okay, and this shaft will be very thin, slender. Okay, very thin and slender. Okay, and see here the upper end or head, this one is the upper end, it is slightly expanded in all directions. Okay, so superior surface is bearing this articular facet, which is actually articulating this with this. What is this, beta? Lateral condyle of the tibia. We have studied tibia day before yesterday, right? This was medial condyle and this was lateral condyle. So lateral condyle of the tibia is articulating with the fibula, and we find the articular facet is present on the head. Okay, the projected area of the head is the styloid process, which is also called as apex. Okay, which is projecting upwards. And here you will see it gives attachment to certain ligaments of which joint? Knee joint. So because it is lateral side, you will find fibular collateral ligament. Towards tibia medial side, if you remember, I talked about tibial collateral ligament. Similarly, here we will have at the apex, we will have the fibular collateral ligament. We will talk about this arcuate ligament, fibular collateral ligament when we are doing the knee joint. Okay. Now, not only that, you will see the insertion of a muscle, that is the biceps femoris. Biceps femoris we have seen in which compartment, beta? Semimembranosus, semitendinosus, biceps femoris.
Hamstring posterior compartment.
Posterior compartment. Okay, what was the common place of origin we have seen, beta? Hamstrings.
The straight has the ischiopubic ramus.
No, beta, that was adductor compartment.
Oh, okay, ischial tuberosity.
Ischial tuberosity. Very good. So insertion is on the apex. Okay, the biceps femoris. Now, obviously, any time constriction below the head is the neck of the fibula. So, neck of the fibula is related to this nerve. Can you see there is one nerve coming? That is the common peroneal nerve. Okay, it's also related on the lateral side. You will see like anterior tibial vessels medially and this common peroneal nerve laterally. Okay, do you remember surgical neck of the humerus is related to which nerve? Hema? Axillary nerve there.
Axillary nerve, no.
Ha. So here which nerve do we have related to the neck? Please remember, because foot drop is a condition which occurs whenever there is fracture of the neck of the fibula. Okay, you should know. Neck of the fibula is related to common peroneal nerve, which is now dividing into superficial and deep. We will discuss much in detail, but initial small points also you should pay attention. Now see, already fibula is a very thin bone, beta, very thin bone. It has three borders and three surfaces. Okay. Of course, I don't have bone to show you, but still other bones we have seen. Now you can at least imagine like it has front anterior border, behind posterior border, and the medial border is called as interosseous border. Medial also called as interosseous border. Okay. So now it has three surfaces. Now what are those? Now between the anterior and medial border, you will see medial surface. Between anterior and interosseous border, imagine little better, anterior and interosseous medial surface, then anterior and posterior you will see lateral. Between the interosseous and posterior borders, you will see complete posterior surface. Okay, so three borders and three surfaces. Okay, so of course few borders are shown here, and see interosseous, always the sharpest of all the borders will be interosseous border. Okay, because it is giving attachment to interosseous membrane. Okay beta, then now see here. So now see, this is interosseous border, this is the medial surface. Do you remember I told you medial surface is bearing a triangular articular facet, behind which what is the name of the fossa I said? Malleolar fossa.
Malleolar.
Now you remember, try to remember. See, like this triangular articular facet is actually articulating with talus, which takes part in the formation of ankle joint, and this malleolar fossa is giving attachment to two ligaments which are actually related to again ankle joint. We have inferior transverse tibiofibular and posterior talofibular ligaments. Okay, lower down at the apex of the lateral malleolus. This is lateral malleolus, no? This projection. You have one more ligament connecting the calcaneum bone that comes under talus and fibula. Everywhere fibula comes beta. Fibula, between tibia and fibula you call it as tibiofibular. Between the talus and fibula you call it as talofibular. Between the calcaneum and fibula you call it as calcaneofibular. To be like, try to make it simple. Here this point will be for inferior tibiofibular joint. So this is an area for interosseous tibiofibular ligament. Okay, like that. Many attachments will be there. Okay, I'll tell you the simple way to remember. This is also same thing, but again, triangular articular facet for the talus. Again, here you have the ligaments. This is for interosseous. Different pictures are there. Okay, now see this picture we have seen when we were doing like tibia, right? Do you remember guy ropes?
Yes.
Can you define
Yes,
what
ma'am.
are? Beta, can you tell me what are guy ropes?
There are muscles
They're
coming
like
from three different
ropes.
compartments of the leg,
Very good.
Yes.
Of the thigh, three different
of the
compartments of the
thigh
thigh.
region.
Of the thigh.
Very good. Okay. Sartorius from which compartment?
Sartorius from the anterior compartment,
Anterior compartment.
Semitendinosus?
from the
Posterior.
extensor posterior
Very
compartment.
good. Gracilis?
Medial.
Adductor or medial.
Excellent. Very good. Okay. That means this is anterior view. You remember now. What is this green colored membrane you are finding?
Interosseous.
Interosseous
Interosseous
membrane.
membrane. Now let us see what are the attachments we have on the anterior aspect of fibula. Okay. See here, this is apex, and towards the apex just now we have seen attachment of knee joint, fibular collateral ligament, arcuate ligament. We have the insertion of biceps femoris. As you told me, it is one of the hamstring muscles. Neck is related to common peroneal nerve, laterally, anterior tibial artery, medially. This is the midline, no beta, because tibia is medial bone, right? Then now see here, this becomes medial surface, isn't it? This black line is indicating anterior border. Okay. Towards the interosseous membrane, between the anterior and interosseous border, whatever surface is there, medial surface. So from the medial surface now, you tell me what are the muscles originating?
Extensor digitorum longus.
Very good. And
Extensor hallucis longus.
very good.
Peroneus tertius.
Very good. So from the medial surface, we have the origin of extensor digitorum longus. What is the meaning of digitorum from the upper limb knowledge?
Fingers.
It splits into
The
Fingers or
digits.
digits.
4 digits. Okay. Very good. Flexor digitorum longus. Then you have the flexor hallucis means what, beta? There we have used the word
The
polycystic.
big toe.
Big toe. Yeah,
Big
very
toe.
good. Yeah, very good. Big toe or great toe. Okay. Extensor hallucis, and we have peroneus word basically indicates lateral compartment. Okay. So this is actually the lateral surface only. You have two muscles like peroneus longus, peroneus brevis. Okay. Supported by a small muscle which is actually coming from the medial surface of the fibula, that is peroneus tertius. Okay. These are lateral compartment muscles, peroneus longus, peroneus brevis. Okay, peroneus tertius. Okay, so this is the anterior aspect. So we know like interosseous membrane is connecting the interosseous border of the fibula, which is the medial border of the fibula, and interosseous border of the tibia, which is the lateral border of tibia, right? That is, it is forming which joint? Intermediate tibio-fibular joint. Okay, beta? That is. Now coming to the posterior view. Okay, so posterior view. Now, what is this line we have seen like day before yesterday when we were talking about tibia?
Soleal line.
Soleal line. Okay, so I told you the soleal line is just below that. You have seen the origin of soleus. Okay, which is like chappal sole, I said, isn't it? Our footwear sole, it looks same like that. That's the reason when, if you can recollect that picture in from the dissection hall, below gastrocnemius, at the back of the leg, below gastrocnemius, we will see soleus. Okay, between them you will see plantaris tendon, like that. Deep to which you will see Tom, Dick, Harry. What is that? Do you remember? Tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus, and flexor hallucis longus. Okay, that is. Now see here, this is the posterior view of fibula now. So in the posterior view of fibula, the same soleus muscle is here, beta. Okay, that means from the posterior surface, from the upper 1/3, we have the origin of soleus. Okay, soleus is pierced by this common peroneal nerve. Already we know neck is related to common peroneal, no? So it's piercing this muscle. Then lower down you are finding, this is the flexor compartment now. Flexor hallucis longus you are finding, tibialis posterior you are finding. Okay, that peroneus brevis small slip is seen from this view also. Lateral view, actually lateral aspect we have peroneus longus and brevis, no? Small thing we can see here. Okay. So that is, digitorum has come behind the tibia beta, and hallucis is coming behind the fibula. Okay, that is. So these are the things what you should remember for fibula. Very simple. Okay. Then so I'll just make a quick review if I have missed anything. Border surfaces we have seen. Okay. So we will talk about retinacula anyhow. Interosseous border. Everything I have shown you with the help of diagrams, better pictures we have used. Okay. So now see here, ossification. So we have one primary, like any other long bone, it also has one primary ossification center, which is usually arising at the diaphysis, middle of the shaft. When does it appear? 8th week of intrauterine life. Secondary center for the lower end, it is appearing at 1st year and fuses at 16th year. Secondary center for upper end appears at 4th year and fuses with 18th year. Okay, so that is. So fibula is violating the law of ossification because the secondary center which is appearing first in the lower end does not fuse last. Okay, what does it mean? Center which is appearing first. So when you just look at the lower end, it is appearing at 1st year only. Okay. At the lower end, it is appearing at first year, but it has to fuse actually last, but it is fusing at 16th year only.
Mhm.
Okay, so that is the reason. That is why does it why it is violating, because secondary center appears first because it is pressure epiphysis. Body weight is actually lateral malleolus. If you just check both the malleoli, it will be around half centimeter below the medial malleolus, though this picture is not so correct, but when you see in the skeleton, the articulated skeleton in our lobbies of our medical colleges, you will see lateral malleolus will be little lower. Okay, that means this is the pressure epiphysis. When the baby is growing, the place where the baby stands and takes supports, that's the reason you are finding secondary center is appearing first in the lower end. Okay, that is
What is the law, ma'am, of ossification? The first appearing one fuses first. Huh?
fuses first,
Okay.
but here
Okay.
it is
Okay.
violating that rule. Okay,
Okay.
upper epiphysis is fusing last, that is understood only because this is the growing end of the bone. Okay, so
Okay.
this point sometimes may be asked in viva beta. Okay,
Okay.
so concentrate this. Okay,
Is this the only bone, ma'am, which violates that law?
this is the only bone in our body, no other
Okay.
bone violates the rule. Okay,
Okay. And also, when can what is the last year for girls to grow, ma'am, in height?
see, according
18
to
or